All right, so the first thing I wanted to ask you was, how did you feel when you're approached with the opportunity of the TED Talk?
I was real excited. Let me move over there so you don't have to be
Right.
so awkward.
Yeah.
Um, there were people around the state actually that when this opportunity that this was a TEDx, which means regional, ABQ, which means Albuquerque, ED, which means education, and it was the first TEDx ABQ Ed talk in the history of the city of Albuquerque. And so I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that they were going to offer, and I had people from around the state that sent me emails that did know about it, that thought that I would be a really good candidate to apply. So that when that first happened to me, I was honored to be considered by those around the state in the educational world to be a candidate to apply, to get a chance to apply, to be the first group to speak at the TEDx ABQ ED. It's very honored.
So how did you prepare for it?
Oh man, we didn't. This particular talk was a little different than what normal talks are. They usually have 3 to 4 months
Yeah.
before the event to prepare. This one we had about 5 to 6 weeks.
Well, it's a lot shorter time frame.
Yeah, and they were 5 to 6 weeks over a holiday, over a Christmas holiday. So where you have other things planned and
Yeah.
scheduled and family and things that you can't interrupt. So it was really a different, very compacted. So the preparation was really is as TED in the TED world very compact. But I'll tell you what, many of us that were in the TED Talks, we said the day of the event, I don't know that I'd want it any longer because it is all consuming. Every time I would have a minute to stop and just breathe in a day, I was thinking about my speech. I was thinking about my talk, and I had other TEDers that were doing the event with me. They said very similar things. Yeah, they would say, "I'm really kind of glad to get it over with,
Yeah.
not because I don't dreading it, but because it was all consuming. And I dreamed it. You woke up with thinking about it, and so the preparation was really a lot of work. But it was a pleasure to go through and working with the professionals that they teamed us with to make our speech presentations, our talks, and they critique. That didn't happen very often. A
No.
lot of the talks when I go around and I've done speeches a lot in front of all kinds of sized audiences, but I'm never anticipating that when I get done with the speech, when I get done with the talk, that I'm going to sit and have people tear it apart and critique it and grade it like you guys, students, as we grade the things you do. Um, so that experience of giving a practice and having professionals in the room listening to it while I'm practicing one thing that's really different, and then knowing that they were going to cut it apart and give suggestions and say don't do this and was quite an experience.
So when you reached the podium, were you feeling any nervousness up there?
That's a really great question, and I anticipated because I tell you what, standing in front of those professionals practicing, I would get cotton mouthed. I would get nervous. I would feel the nervous. But the day of the event, a strange thing happened to me, a strange emotion that I didn't really anticipate. I was the third one to speak in the day, and I got this sense of calm. It was really weird. I didn't anticipate it. It just fell over me, and and it stayed with me all up until I stepped on the stage, while I was on the stage, and during the ovation and receiving of that ovation and exiting the stage. It all stayed with me. It was really kind of eerie. I didn't anticipate it, but it was just a sense of calm and confidence. And I think it stemmed from just the sheer hours of practice. There was never a fear that I didn't know what I was going to say, or I was going to say something wrong, or that the audience and during the talk, it even got more. I got more confident and assured because the what you hoped would happen with the interaction of the audience and things that I had done in the speech and the talk, it happened. And it was magic. And we fed off of each other and the audience and myself. And it just went really, really well.
So I've watched you go up in front of crowds before, and you always seem pretty comfortable. How long did it take you before you start getting comfortable in front of other people?
To look comfortable and to be comfortable are different things. I think that's what you practice. Because, we were just talking athletics just a second ago.
Yeah.
And anytime you go into a game, you're nervous. And
Yeah,
I don't care.
absolutely.
I don't care how many you've played or what level you've played at. You talk to Tom Brady and he'll tell you, yeah, before the game you're nervous. You have butterflies. So getting over that, you don't. You have some level of energy that would be called nervous energy before any kind of getting in front of people. But but the art of not letting that show, of using that nervous energy into a positive way to portray confidence and control. Uh, that's something that's practiced, and it takes some practice. So, and again, really, all that is just sticking yourself out there and just doing it until you kind of. And also, I went through some training, and even though you're nervous, you learn tricks to control the audience. And a performer has moments when he feels like the audience is right in his hand. He just has complete control. They're with him, he's with them, and there's a wonderful interaction between the two. And you really feel like you have control. That gives you the appearance of not being nervous because you do tricks that put that audience right in your hand. So they do what you wish them to do. And that's educators and teachers that are in front of people a lot. Um, that is good practice ground to develop that skill.
So now with our scholars, some of them are getting into public speaking. What would be the number one thing that you would advise to them when getting in front of other people?
To have practiced the tricks that there are to having confidence and controlling that audience. That they make it's sort of like you're making them nervous instead of you being nervous. You're really they're the ones that are on. You know what you're going to do, and you're practiced, and you're confident. You know it's good, and you know the message you have deliver is something they need to hear. Um, and so all those things just comes with practice. So maybe as you're developing that, as you're not there yet, you don't feel those kind of things. Go to somebody that has some practice and has had some success with it, and learn some of those tricks, and then practice till they become your own. And they're really simple, uh, but not everybody is aware of them. And
Mm-hmm.
so, um, to somebody that's trying to develop that public speaking skill, there are just tricks of the trade. And there are some people that are just gifted, and I feel I'm a little bit of that. I'm gifted with the gift of gab. This interview is, I talk a lot. Uh,
Yeah.
I say things, and I've been gifted with the blessed with the gift of being able to put things together, put words together that well, and so that's always an advantage to those that are practicing. But anybody can be a really good public speaker. Practice things, talking about things that you really have an interest about, a real passion for, and then practice those tricks of the trade and getting good at presenting what you want to speak. Also, writing what you want to say. Um, there's a knack to that. It's like writing a paper of telling the audience what you're going to tell them, and then you tell them, and then you tell them what you told them. That's a opening, it's a body, and it's a conclusion. Um, Also, try to work in public speaking like working in humor. If you get the audience to laugh and relax with you at the beginning of a talk or during the talk, that's a trick to pull them in. They'll have confidence in you, and make it a joke that's relevant to
Keep
your.
them engaged, right?
Yeah, but the laughter that you want to engage them with needs to be relevant to the talk you're saying.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, the little way to get them to chuckle and be surprised with the humor that you used, that needs to tie into what you're saying. In that way, the audience will say, "Man, this guy is good. He made me relax with that laughter and pulled me into his talk." But those again are tricks. Those are things that if you're trying to develop a public speaking skill that you can learn, those are things that you'll learn how to do in shaping and writing what you want to say, and then don't read, and actually don't have notes. I mean, today we have technology of PowerPoints that can help us in our public speaking,
Yeah.
but those should be just one or two words or picture.
Do you use notes or no?
I don't. I use I use bullets to know what I want to not forget some major point that I want to make sure. But I don't. What I've been saying to you in this right here is not a speech I'm reading.
No.
It is words. It's words I know I want to say and things that I can say it. But even in the TED Talk, they don't let you use notes. There are no notes.
Yeah.
You don't have notes. And they say don't have a script. Don't memorize script. Just have bullets. I wanted to say this, and then I'm going to say words, and then I'm going to move to this, and then I'm going to move to that, and just have those points and just talk. It's a talk. It's not a speech. It's a talk, like you and I are doing
Yeah,
right now,
that makes sense.
and that makes it more personable. It makes it more real, genuine, relevant, and your audience is going to enjoy it more.
Yeah, it won't be so boring.
Yeah.
So, finally, as you know, Super Bowl's coming up, so I wanted to get your take on who you think would win.
Everybody that I have rooted for this season has lost. So all the NFL teams are saying and writing me an email, please don't root for me. um, San Francisco has just a kicking defense. I mean, they are so. For example, Willis, their linebacker, my son and I watching the game last week were when Willis tackles you, you are done. It's like the running back's paralyzed when he hits him. He's just such a freak. We've also watched YouTubes of some of his workouts. He is an absolute freakish humanoid. Just does things that are you're like, that's not human. That's not possible for somebody to do that. So they have a whole team of that. And they're all
Yeah,
in their offensive line, every single one of them 300 plus pounds and Pro Bowl. I mean, they are a phenomenally talented, stacked team.
yeah,
However, the Ravens have a spirit of teamship that I haven't seen much
yeah. That's true.
expressed. They have something unique carrying them this year. So that's something that's not really tangible that could really make the difference on the books. San Francisco's will kill them.
Yeah,
And they're bringing their new quarterback in. That's just another freaky, athletic
yeah. He's
humanoid.
good.
Just is out of this universe. I just really don't know how Baltimore can stay with them. But maybe there's something that's in the spirit world that's going to help them do that. So
Yeah, you never know.
you never know. It's gonna be a good game. Very entertaining. I like the
Yeah,
fact that there's some culminating things with Ray Lewis it
yeah.
being his last
Got the
year.
whole hard bowl and everything.
Yeah, and it's his retirement, and he's wanting to go out on top and all those things, that
Yeah,
just really make a difference in an athletic endeavor, which is again is what we were talking about before. If you can San Francisco lose, absolutely, absolutely. Otherwise, they wouldn't play.
yeah,
There wouldn't be a reason to play. So um, they can anybody either team could lose. So it's just I don't rationally you don't know how San Francisco can't win.
yeah.
Yeah. So
A lot of things will have to go wrong for the Niners, and a lot of things will have to go right for the Ravens.
yeah, that young quarterback's going to have to make a ton of mistakes with that he hasn't made yet.
Yeah, yeah,
Honestly, he just really has. Which nobody when they took the quarterback that took him to the national championship game last year and set him on the bench and put this unknown kid coming from a small university was just like, what the heck? And of course, Smith got injured.
Yeah.
But why did he keep? I mean, it's just like most of us was, well, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Why didn't you put Smith back in when he got over his injury? Well, we all see why now.
Yeah, we see why.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
had nothing against Smith. It's just this kid is,
He's good.
and he hadn't made those young mistakes yet.
No.
You know, as athletic as you are, you would think he would still make young mistakes
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
hurt the team. And it's not that he hasn't been perfect. He hasn't been perfect, but he hasn't hurt the team. Not only that, he has done things Smith couldn't have done
Yeah. Read
that
option.
truly helped the team.
Yeah.
It really screwed defenses up.
It's true.
Gave them something they had to prepare for that they didn't have to prepare for or even think about preparing for. So yeah, he's really helped them a lot.
Yeah.
So it'll be a good game.
It will be. All right. Well, thank you again.
Thanks, Andy.
All right. Well, have a good rest of the day, Mr. Stevenson.
Yeah, have a good week.